What's up guys, Matt Everett here with Lethal Camaro, and today I want to do a quick video on the different places or how GM is cooling a lot of the radiators, the brakes, and getting air into your cold air intake from the front of your car. Now, I am in the middle of an install for my new front grille, but I found or thought this video could be useful for people who just want to understand how the cooling works with the way GM set it up. And there's a lot of companies out there already looking at ways to improve the cooling and do all sorts of other things. But sorry, I'm gonna roll my chair over here so we can see and kind of point things out. So, as you can see, front end of the car completely removed. Not as difficult as you might think it is, or scary. So over here on the right side, this is my driver's side, you have a few different cooling compartments that GM is utilizing to cool different aspects of your car. Now, right here, you could see right in this opening is one of the three radiators GM has built into the 2016-2017 Camaro. It's a much smaller radiator compared to the main radiator over in this side, but one of the primary cooling ducts comes from the front of the vehicle that is cooling this radiator to keep it cool. Now, right here next to this radiator cooling duct, this is one of the two brake duct cooling. So this is actually porting cool air from the front of your car to the back side of your disc brakes. Now, the Brembo brakes can get pretty hot, and this design feature of the car is one of the main reasons keeping your brakes from starting to fade at the track or under heavy brake usage driving down a mountain or something like that. Right up here is a secondary cooling. So this piece here is actually getting cooling from the underneath side of your vehicle. I have the front end taken off, so I can't really show you what that looks like, but air passing underneath the car gets forced up into this radiator, but also gets hit by the air flowing in from the front of the car and blown into the primary radiator. So you have air coming in from the front and air coming from underneath the car through here. As we move over, we get to the passenger side front brake cooling setup. Again, this ports the cold air to your brakes. And then here we have the third and final radiator that's getting cooled from the front end of your car. Now, the hot air that is going through these grills it should go in cold, comes out a little bit hotter on the back side, does dump into the wheel well on that side and this side. Here it dumps into the engine bay, but that's not so, it's not such a bad thing. The only other cooling component that is happening from the front of your car is the cold air intake cooling. And so, as you can see up here, I have the RotoFab cold air intake in here. It is a closed box design to where the lid of the hood actually creates a seal on top of the box and allows for a closed box design. So it is only sucking air through this little tiny outlet. Now there's tons of air being forced into the front of your car, but basically this little opening right here is where the air is getting sucked in for your cold air intake. It's really not that big of an area, and I wonder how much improvement could be made to this. I know there's a lot of space here in the front down into this area. It almost makes me wonder if someone can make a snorkel of some sort that flows into this area just to steal a little bit of that cold air going into the radiators to create a much more beneficial flow to the cold air intake. Just something I'm observing in regards to, this is a really tiny opening. But I think it calls out the fact that GM really banks on suction for its, or back pressure, I should say, for its air intake. I know a lot of people, they talk about getting zero vacuum pressure to normalize your intake. And if you're not getting any back pressure, or if you're getting a vacuum pressure at all, then there's room for improvement. But if you get to zero vacuum, then the vehicle is getting as much air as it needs. I don't know if this setup is allowing the car to get as much air as it needs, but we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of different factors. I'm going to trust the GM engineers here Bunch of smart guys over there. So one of the other cool things, and you don't necessarily see this from the car, but you could kind of see some of the struts here now. These they feel like aluminum. They're hollow. They bend in the back. It's kind of like a horseshoe shape right here, but it connects to the main bumper, which connects to the main frame of the car. Again, this is allowing more, is it lateral strength? Sorry, my terms are mixed up here, but gives you more stability across the frame of the car, knowing that a lot of the parts are bent aluminum or folded over steel and whatnot. You could see GM really try to get as much rigidity as they could all over the place. So pretty cool design to see with all the parts taken out. So that's a video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the cooling that GM set up is actually a cool design, knowing that you got 3 radiators and your brake coolers and the cold air inductions? And let me know what you guys think about the cold air inductions, or not the cold air inductions, but the cold air intake slot is really small. Do you think there's room for improvement? Do you think there could be more air forced up in there? I don't know. A lot of companies came up with some pretty ingenious ways on the 5th gen to get more cool air up in the intake box. Do you think that might be needed here? I don't know. But as always, guys, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, I'll see you on the road.